Hey, it's Mario here. I am chilling and enjoying this awesome day here in Split, Croatia. You guys see the docks here and the cruise ships, and it's pretty cool. Had a great workout today. It's about to be sunset. I did a workout in a fasted state. Was the end of my volume accumulation blocks. Did a lot of sets, a lot of reps with a lower body. My legs are killing me. 15 rep squats. You know, my back doesn't like that as well. My back doesn't like the Romanian deadlifts as well when you do higher reps. And I wanted to share an idea with this video here from the rooftop of the building I'm staying at. And that's the idea of how your body doesn't work in a linear fashion like we would want. And that's something that a lot of us need to be reminded of constantly, even myself. I mean, I forget this all the time because I'm thinking, well, if my weight hasn't changed on 2,500 or 3,000 calories in 2 weeks, I might amp up the calories, I'm doing something wrong. Well, it's not really like that, right? So if I've been in a caloric deficit for a very, very long time, my body has basically accumulated a lot of that momentum of a deficit. And it's kind of that trend of a deficit, and all of a sudden, it takes it a while to actually get a momentum in a different direction in terms of like gaining weight or simply maintaining weight. So it's often a case where we underestimate how the body works. And even a good example here is, let's say you've been gaining muscle for a while, you've been bulking, you've been eating a lot of food, like 4,000 calories all the time, and then suddenly you basically decide to cut the calories and go on a cut. Well, you will be building muscle still for a couple of weeks, even on lower calories, because you have that momentum of gaining muscle for a very, very long time. And that's because you're fully recovered, and it takes a while for basically that momentum to just completely halt, and then it goes into just fat loss for a while, right? So that's even, I mean, especially with intermediate lifters, this is very, very frequent. For beginner lifters, I mean, we often heard about stats, well, you gain about 24 pounds of muscle in the first year, then you gain 12 in the second year, then you 6 in the third year, and all of that. But most people, what they think is that, well, okay, 24 pounds first year, it's like 2 pounds per month, I'm gonna be gaining that every single month. But it doesn't work like that. It never works linearly. And in terms of gaining muscle, it's very, very inconsistent. It's so fucking random. Like plateau, and one day you wake up a little bit heavier, gain some muscle. And this is very, very obvious, especially with beginners, because they have to go through this phase of neurological adaptations, right? So when you first start lifting, you're basically learning how to lift. So at that time, you don't even know how to load, your body doesn't know how to load your muscles properly as you're performing the lifts, because the weight isn't heavy, none of it is heavy enough to cause an adaptation in terms of growth. So typically you get a lot stronger, but you don't get a lot of size in the first couple of months. So it takes a while for that size to catch up. So that's typically with beginners, it's very, very obvious. Even with intermediate lifters, you never see linear progress. I rarely have seen linear progress. And one interesting thing when it comes to fat loss is, if you look at the Minnesota starvation experiment, which is a fascinating book and experiment, a lot have been written on this, I'm going to leave it in the description below, is that people were basically put on a 21-mile walk every day, and they put on a caloric deficit of, they were eating about 1,500 calories a day, right? 1,600. So it's a big caloric deficit, and it's kind of a semi-starvation. And in the beginning of that, there was a 6-month experiment. At the beginning of the experiment, people were losing weight linearly. It was really dropping every week. But halfway and toward the end of the experiment, it was completely random. So the weight would just hold for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden it would drop like tremendously, like 3-4 pounds overnight. And typically, I mean, it's the cause of, the cause is water retention, as I talked in my weight loss plateaus video, which I'm going to link in the description below. But it's important to kind of acknowledge this and accept it, because if we panic, we often panic. I mean, I panicked in the past. I just, oh shit, I'm not gaining weight, time to amp up the calories. Oh shit, I'm not losing weight, time to amp up the cardio, double the cardio, reduce the calories, really go hard. And what that does is really shoot yourself in the foot, because you're gonna reach that, you're gonna hit that wall sooner, because now you're running out of things to do. If you cut the calories too soon, I mean, you might get to the same result, but you've basically you're gonna be longer in that phase where you're eating less calories. So it's gonna be making you more miserable. You might get to the same result. It's like that thing, I mean, you want to diet on as high calories as possible. So why would you go on a low calorie if you don't have to? So that's the thing that we do here, is that we often shoot ourselves in the foot, because we anticipate the result to be linear week to week, but it never happens like that. And that's the illusion that most of us have, and this is a thing that we really need to look at. Not just that, but we need to look at the fact that everybody will be responding to a diet or to a muscle gaining plan randomly. Like, it's not going to be the same response between you and your friend. So your friend might be gaining muscle linearly and you are not, but eventually you might be gaining more than him if you just get a couple of spurts of that muscle growth, because it's really unpredictable. And you want to have to a degree of a trust in the process. If you set up your macros, if you set up your calories, if you set up your fiber, you eat a high quality diet, you're tracking everything, you're tracking your body weight, have a little bit of trust in the process and wait for like at least 3 to 4 weeks, because a lot of times for a change to happen, it takes 3 to 4 weeks, and that's a month. You know, people are like, oh shit, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. Well, you have to make the time if you want to get the results. And often a lot of mistakes are made because we are not patient enough to wait out the result to come to us. And that's where a lot of mistakes are made with setting up the diet, getting further into the deficit, adding unnecessary cardio, which influences the lean body mass retention because now you're too fatigued, adding too much work in the gym. I mean, I've been there, I made all these mistakes, so that's just a quick heads up here from the video, is that your body is responding to general trends. It's not really about what is happening on that one single day, and in general, don't expect to have linear progress, expect to have random progress in terms of like plateau, 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 bam, like all of a sudden you get a little bit of results. That's typically what I see happen with a lot of people. And additionally, I mean, in terms of just seeing yourself in the mirror, it takes a little bit of that momentum. You're going to notice, let's say you go on a diet, and for the first 2-3 months, you don't really notice a lot of changes because the body fat, I mean, first off, you're not even sure if your body's burning the subcutaneous fat. It might be burning the intramuscular triglycerides for energy. It might be like just getting a little bit of fat from everywhere, so you don't really notice a big change. So it takes a while for that change to kick in. So trust the process. I mean, trust the process a little bit. If you're confident in your setup, give it at least 3-4 weeks before you make rapid changes. And one final thing here is make one change at a time. Don't change everything at once. Like, if you're really confident that your diet currently isn't generating that deficit required for fat loss, don't add all of a sudden a lot of cardio and a lot of further deficit. Do one thing and see which thing worked. You want to have as many cards as possible, right? So you don't want to like throw everything like all out at once. Then what else are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna lose all your tools, you're gonna run out of things to do. So baby step what you introduced, and then you're gonna also know what thing worked. Because if you change everything at once, add a bunch of supplements, add a lot of more protein, change your macros, change your calories, add more cardio, add more sleep, reduce sleep, or whatever the hell, I mean, you're not gonna know what's happening. So make sure to make that just one change, observe what's happening, give it another couple of weeks. I know it's a lot to demand in this world of impatience and with an attention span smaller than shorter than a goldfish right now, according to the stats from 2015, but it is something we have to do if we want to get really, really good results, so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and get impatient and ruin our progress. So hope you enjoyed. Quick idea here, not very structured as like compared to my usual videos, so enjoying the scenery here, and hope you guys enjoyed as well. Let me know in the comments below how you resonate with this, and aside from that, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.